Okay, so this is what we're about to watch. The 2015 murder of Dee Dee Blanchard garnered national media attention when her daughter Gypsy pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in her mother's death. The court took into consideration the lifetime abuse of Gypsy had suffered at her mother's hands since birth. You know, this is a bit of spoilers, I think. I'm not going to read that because I know a little bit, but I'm sure this documentary is going to talk about that. So I shouldn't have even read that because it started to give you a little bit of context to everything. I want you guys, if you've never learned about this, to hear it through this because it was a really messed up case. I'm pretty sure. I think they made a show of it. Recently, Jerry King plays Gypsy. But yeah, I know like a little bit about this case, and it's kind of sad. So let's get into this. This is Gypsy's Revenge. This is in 2018. This came out. I hope they do give context about everything happened. Before I carry on, this documentary was recommended to me by my friend Maria. So thank you, Maria. I know she really likes true crime stuff as well. So thank you. I've asked her to give me some more recommendations because I like watching true crimes. I usually watch them with my older brother. We've been watching stuff like Unsolved Mysteries. There was like the Night Stalker one. We watched those. Blanchard.
Dee Dee, I understand if you're sick, if you don't feel good, could you please call me back or at least pick up the phone. Let me know that everything's okay.
Gypsy's Revenge. Alright, here we go. I think this should be good. Well, not good because it's about someone's murders, which is, you know what I mean. Let's just watch. 2005.
This bedroom is empty.
It was a role change of sorts for these first responders. Rather than rolling up to medical calls, this team spent the afternoon moving boxes and furniture into this Aurora house. And it's all for this family, Dee Dee Blanchard and her 12-year-old daughter, Gypsy Rose.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a blessing. People have been so nice to us. It feels like we finally came home.
It is wonderful. It's so beautiful and happy and home.
That's Gypsy.
A home that this family was desperately in need of. Their trek to the Ozarks began when a St. John's medical team...
Is that the house
During
now?
Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, wow.
Dee Dee and Gypsy's home had been destroyed. And they had basically lost everything that they had. It was just a complete wash. So they
Blanchard.
were relocated up to Missouri, and they were basically here to just start over from scratch.
It says friend of them, but she has the same last name.
When they said leave, we left.
After weeks of staying in the hospital, Dee Dee and Gypsy Rose were then life-flighted to St. John's in Springfield for care. Team leader Dr.
The more that I got to know Dee Dee and Gypsy, the more I got to know about Gypsy's
Is that just a coincidence that your friend,
She
friend
had
is the same
muscular
last name?
dystrophy. She had a feeding tube. She suffered from severe migraines, and she was on a lot of different medications.
Jeez.
She was unable to walk anywhere. I myself have picked her up and transported her.
Dave Blanchard. Look, another Blanchard. I swear Dee Dee and Gypsy are Blanchard.
Vehicles.
When I met her, she would have been 11 or 12. But Dee Dee told me that she had the mentality of like a 4-year-old, somewhere around there. So she wasn't quite as developed as she seemed.
With no home and Gypsy Rose battling both muscular dystrophy and leukemia, the St. John's Aurora team went to work securing this rent-free home for the family and cleaning it up.
It is overwhelming. You can never dream it in your wildest dream that so many people would just so generously come and help us and love us.
Knowing what I
and
know,
just
this is already
welcome
hard
us.
to watch.
For Gypsy Rose and her mother, the move brings a sense of security, a new town, and a new home that has welcomed them with open arms.
It just proves that happy endings are not just in fairy tales. They're real and true in real life also.
They couldn't drag me back to Louisiana kicking and screaming. I'm here to stay. We're home.
Okay.
Dee Dee treated everybody around her like family, which made it all the funnier that we shared a last name, but in no way were we actually blood related, but she could make you feel like you were.
Okay.
Every time we saw them, they were always happy and go lucky and wanted to help. And so we wanted to help them as well.
Dee Dee had a lot of trouble asking for help, but they were actually given quite a bit of stuff, like trips to Disney World, Disneyland. They got the Habitat for Humanity house and the furniture in it and all that.
We have an awesome bathtub. It's a jacuzzi tub meant for my muscles. And we have a wonderful ramp so I can get up and down by myself. The light switches, I can reach them now. I have wider doors so my chair can get through.
They were given the van, and when the van died, they got another similar vehicle.
I didn't realize how much they were given. They got so much.
And here's the keys to the car that was donated.
They were also given things like free flights to Gypsy's medical appointments or conferences.
Wow.
As far as Gypsy being sick, you almost wouldn't think that she was. A lot of people who had a lot less wrong with them would probably have done a lot more moaning and wailing about the whole thing.
Here she is having tubes being put into her, having needles and treatments, and it was incredibly inspiring to see how Gypsy responded to these conditions. It was unreal.
Hello everybody, this is Gypsy Rose reporting from Aurora, Missouri. I am about to dive off our porch into the pile of snow. You ready?
Gypsy had that really soft, high-pitched voice
Why would you let
that
her do
kind of
that?
like made you feel like really nice and good.
The normalcy of life that a child like Gypsy could enjoy seemed to be very limited.
Hi everybody, right now I'm in Cinderella's castle eating some royal mashed potatoes.
So
She invented
it was
vlogging.
very important to Dee Dee for Gypsy to have a very fulfilled life before she passed.
I watched a movie recently that's quite like this story. I'm not gonna say which one because then it'll spoil what the hell this whole story is about.
I did think their relationship was unique because of everything they did together. They even had a joint Facebook account called Blanchard, and that's where Dee Dee would give updates on Gypsy's health and like take photos of her in the hospital or, you know, in Disney World. I mean, that was like the dream relationship between any mother and daughter.
This is.
But I definitely feel like Gypsy did miss going to school so that she can, you know, make all those friends, because you could tell that she wanted to have a life outside of her home. And so she had to live through fantasy. Anytime there was an opportunity for her to dress up, she would.
Batman.
If they were going to Comic-Con
costume,
or if they were going to movie premieres, she would dress up as the characters.
Okay.
I just felt like she liked being someone else for a while. Especially when it came to like the hair, because she never really had any hair, and so she got to wear these beautiful long wigs, and she took on this entire persona of someone that she could never be. We were friends and we were very friendly to each other, but we hadn't really gotten to know each other on like a real friendship level until she started messaging me. Gypsy had set up a secret Facebook account so that we could talk and she could vent, you know, without having to be filtered or censored by her mom, because her mom was always present whenever we were hanging out together. Emma Rose was an alias that she used.
Right, yeah.
She was just coming to me as like an older companion, you know, because She's only ever had her mom her entire life.
Hmm.
And I figured I could be that friend that could be there and like listen to her and like share secrets with. And so she started calling me her big sis, and I started calling her little sis.
It's weird how mom didn't catch on straight away, being so controlling that she didn't ever like spy on her and find her using that
Sunday
account.
that it all started was
Oh,
just
God.
a very typical Sunday.
Okay.
But then I see this post. It was from their Gypsy Blanchard Facebook account. That was a very jarring moment.
What the
I was
hell?
like, well, that seems weird. I bet you they got their Facebook account hacked and somebody's playing games with it.
And then there's another post.
Slash that fat pig and
So I called their phone,
whoa.
and they didn't pick up.
At that point, I told Kim we're just going to go over to the house.
What the?
I was leaving messages on the machine. Dee Dee, could you please call me back, or at least pick up the phone? Let me know that everything's okay.
What the? If you didn't read that, I'm sorry. I can't go back to
The
that.
car was in the driveway.
What
Something
the hell?
didn't feel right.
We walked up to the house and started knocking on the door, and nobody's answering.
I knocked on the windows and we shouted their names.
At that point, I was starting to feel a little anxious, so I had Kim call the police department to see if they could come do a wellness check.
Eyes mess. Jesus.
When the police showed up, we realized that the kitchen window was actually unlocked. The police explained to us that since there doesn't appear to be a break-in of any kind, that there is no legal means for them to be able to just enter the property. So I asked them if there was going to be any reason why I couldn't go in the house, and I was told that would be okay.
Really? Just a random neighbor could
First
get
thing
into
that
the
I
window?
noticed when I got inside, other than it being dark, is that it was extremely cold. It's like the air conditioner had been on
That's
full
weird. They'll
blast.
just say, hey, you're a random neighbor. Go ahead. Go
Constantly
climb in the window.
And the house looked normal. I was just looking
Unless
to
he
see if I could
explained that
find
he's
any
friends
people
with them.
or anything that really just struck me as odd. You know, like
Yeah.
overturned furniture, things that are broken.
Hmm.
Gypsy's wheelchairs are still sitting in the living room, and her electric wheelchair was in the bathroom. So that means all three of the wheelchairs that I knew that she had were in the house.
Okay.
In Gypsy's room, everything is just typical kids' room.
Okay.
Dee Dee's bed was unmade. There was a lot of blankets on it, but nothing looked out of sorts.
Hello, God Cubs. You'd be interested in this. I don't know if you like. Actually, do you like true crime or not?
Dave told the cop what was in the house, which included all three of Gypsy's wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that something was wrong.
Noble. No. Fair enough. Okay. Well, she could clearly move without it because she jumped off the bloody thing into the snow, right?
The Missouri Highway Patrol issued a statewide alert tonight.
I've known about it. This is
Mother
a
and
famous
daughter
one if you've never
missing
heard about
from
this one. This is very
Springfield
famous.
tonight. They say 19-year-old Gypsy Blanchard and 48-year-old Claudenia Blanchard were last seen June 10th. You know,
So she
anything
wasn't
about
in the
their
house
whereabouts,
either. Dee Dee
you're
wasn't
asked
in
to
the
call
house.
Police right away.
Okay.
I saw a crowd of neighbors gathered up, and that's when I found out about the Facebook post. I
That
thought
Facebook
maybe
post
someone
was
had
mad.
just hacked their account, but what made it strange was that nobody had seen them in a few days, and nobody could get a hold of them.
Kim and I both felt that the police were doing their due diligence and trying to figure out where Dee Dee and Gypsy were. So we went home.
I can't say on Twitch, but it's mad. Basically, okay, so the story is about a mother and daughter. Trust me, you need to watch this. This is such a famous one. It's such a mad one as well. Okay, 1 second. I'll call on Discord. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So, this is Gypsy's Revenge, the story about Gypsy Rose and her mom Dee Dee. You need to
You're not muting your Twitch.
Why am I going to mute Twitch?
You just said you can't say it on Twitch.
Oh, you literally want me to call you?
I want the gory details.
It's not even that mad that I have
go
to.
on. Give the PG details, Zaki.
No, you give the full fat details.
Okay, am I unmuted? I think I'm unmuted. Hello. Okay, back to it. "2015 this happened. Was it 2015? I thought it was way earlier than
to a
that.
phone call from a detective who said that he wanted to get some answers to some questions. I was surprised by him wanting to come over immediately,
Let me keep that open, actually.
but I knew it had to be at least fairly serious.
What the hell? 2015. Okay, gee, I know it was famous. It must be famous because it was not even that long ago.
He asked me like how well I know Gypsy, how well I know Dee Dee, if they had any conflicts, but of course I told him there was nothing crazy between them and they were very, very close.
Uh-oh.
He ended up getting a call. It was very short, and as soon as he disconnected, I just knew that something bad had happened.
Uh-oh. I shouldn't laugh at this. This is horrible. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
I wake up and turn on the news.
The Greene County Sheriff has new information about a mother found murdered at her home and her
There we
missing
go.
daughter. Let's go live now to that neighborhood.
48-year-old Dee Dee Blanchard's body was found in her house late Sunday night. The sheriff isn't saying how she died, but has said her death was violent. Investigators continued searching for her daughter, 19-year-old Gypsy, through the night.
Oh, so she was okay. So she was 13 at the start of the documentary, and she by the time they got here, because I didn't realize it was 2015, so they did a time skip. She's 19 now.
I was in that house. How could I have missed something like that?
The overall feeling was numbness. I didn't want to believe any of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted this to be anybody but Dee Dee.
Bloody
Dee Dee had been stabbed multiple times in the back, slashed across the back of her neck, and had been dead and alone in her house for at least a few days.
Wow. Ooh.
This poor woman
Damn.
had done nothing but
Whoa,
give
is
her
that the
life
bloodstains?
for her
What
child,
the?
and had done nothing but love everybody around her.
I could not think of anybody who would want to cause any kind of harm to Dee Dee and Gypsy.
There was no suspect. There was nobody that anybody had any idea would be connected to this, and so all signs did just point to some random killer.
Questions still surround Dee Dee's death, but friends are asking everybody in the area to keep Dee Dee and Gypsy in their thoughts and prayers as this investigation moves forward.
She was not Ravenclaw. Take that Ravenclaw tie off.
I just started
Sorry.
sobbing.
Sorry.
The Facebook posts were real. Dee Dee was dead. That meant Gypsy is too, and it's only a matter of time before we find her.
Man.
At that point, all I wanted was Gypsy back home.
The detective told me that he needed more information. So I told him I had these messages between Gypsy and I. I didn't know if there's any information in it that he could use, but little did I know that they were actually fairly vital pieces into finding out who had murdered Dee Dee.
Uh-oh. Oh, God. Red. Thursday.
At first, our conversations were very, very innocent. And then slowly she started opening up to me more about boys and like wanting advice on love and like kissing because she had never had her first kiss.
Okay.
It kind of shocked me because I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, she was just getting older and she was, 15, 16, and it just seemed totally normal for a girl her age to be asking these things.
Okay.
And then from there, it actually became like she had a love interest.
24.
Gypsy was not allowed to date boys. She was allowed to have friends.
She just said she was 15,
But
16, right?
boyfriends was completely out of the
Or is this another time skip when she met this
She immediately
24-year-old?
jumped into how they were planning on getting married and how they were going to get married in a gazebo in the snow.
What? And
This was my introduction to Nicholas Godejohn.
Oh no.
I told her just be careful, play it safe, play it smart. Don't just run off with some stranger. But honestly,
God.
especially since he was from Wisconsin, I didn't think that anything would ever come of it.
Because all guys from
I
Wisconsin are
thought that her
trustworthy, right?
mom had like enough control that there was nothing really to worry about at all.
Oh no.
The police tracked the IP address of the Facebook status that was made on Dee Dee and Gypsy's Facebook account to a residential area in Big Bend, Wisconsin.
Okay. Wisconsin, the safe area, yeah?
It was Nicholas's parents' home.
Oh shit.
When they figured out that the post had been made in Waukesha County, there was no way that they could get there in time because they were 8 or 9 hours away. So they had to ask the local police department to go to the residence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just tell the people there. Oh shit, Gypsy was there.
They dispatched a very large group of police officers and they descended on the house prepared for anything.
Oh, did they say to see if Gypsy was there, or Gypsy? I think they said to see if Gypsy was there.
We were going to end up finding Gypsy, in a similar condition they found Dee Dee.
This is a KY3 special report.
A huge break in this homicide investigation. We've just learned that 19-year-old Gypsy Rose Blanchard has been found safe. She is okay. She has been found in another state, and that also a person of interest is in custody. Detectives are right now heading to that state to get in touch with Gypsy Rose and this person of interest in the case. We will give you more updates online and have live reports coming up today on.
There you go. Gypsy was alive.
She had been found in Wisconsin, alive, unharmed. It was one ray of hope.
I was relieved that she was found, but, you know, what condition was she in? Like, what did she go through?
It says Nicholas. Do you go by Nick, Nicholas, something different?
This is the guy.
I prefer, usually by my family I'll be called Nicholas, but by friends and other people I usually be called Nick. Usually.
What would you like for me to call you when I'm talking to you?
Nick.
Nick, okay. And so was that the first time that your mom ever met your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess she's your girlfriend, Gypsy's your
Yeah, she
girlfriend.
is. Yeah, she is.
And you love her?
Oh, whatever.
So
Oh,
we're going to go
God.
down two paths here, okay? And that is just you're going to have to be honest with me. Because if you love her,
I've never
if you
seen
love
this.
Gypsy, then you're not going to let Gypsy get in trouble without you being there to help her, okay?
I understand.
Your mom's dead, okay? Now, what I want to ask you is, your mom's passed away, okay? And she's deceased, all right? Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do the right
God.
thing by Gypsy if you love her?
No, the truth is I worship her, so
I know you
there's
do.
no way I wouldn't do it on
I know.
I think for her.
Hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay?
I always find it,
Police did a search
I don't
of
know,
Nicholas's
so
bedroom.
weird the way the detectives, also they do it
They
so they
found
get the confession
a large
out.
amount of cash that had been
But
stolen
when they
from
talk like
Dee Dee's
that
bedroom,
with the person they know
as
who's done
well
it, like
as
they,
an envelope
it's just, I don't know,
that had
it's
been
so
mailed
mad.
from the Springfield location with the murder weapon inside.
Oh my God.
The truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
I know. Okay.
What happened with your mom that night?
I don't know what happened with my mom.
Okay,
The only reason I did it is because I did it for me and her. That's the real reason I did it. I would have never did it if it was not for me and her.
Okay.
I know you do. Sweetheart, I have no doubt that you love your mom. Why did they hurt her?
Jesus, this is messed. Oh, okay, that Nick guy is a creep, first of all. And obviously a psychopath. Jesus. Oh, that looks nice. But there's definitely a crocodile somewhere in there.
Dee Dee's full name was Claudine Ann Petrie, but everyone called her Dee Dee.
Yeah, this is his sister.
Hey, dude. There were 6 of us. 3 older brothers, and my oldest sister. I was the 5th child, and Dee Dee was the 6th child. She was considered the baby.
Dee Dee went out of her way to be different, by herself, a loner, and that's what she liked.
You know, you don't know that she's got a jacket, but she's got a short. She got the fire. Today is Friday, that's why she's going to see the boys tonight. And that's your daddy, of course.
I'm at the bowling alley, hanging out one night, going there to hear a band, and
He looks familiar.
I see
Okay.
this girl.
Oh, this is.
She looks a little
Gypsy's
different.
dad.
She doesn't look like she's from around here.
Hi, my name is Dee Dee. We're about to leave to go out. Me and Suzette, and LJ, and Michelle, and Titania. And we're gonna go do some tricks.
This is Dee Dee. This is similar to like Gypsy's videos. So now I'm thinking, was Gypsy's videos even her
She's dressed
choice?
and carried herself.
Designed by Dee Dee.
Or was Dee Dee trying to just recreate it
stood out
with
from the
Gypsy?
crowd,
Like trying to live her life through Gypsy?
You the bad witch or the good witch?
She's the good one, I'm the bad one. Okay, we straightened those things out already. Yeah.
I was 17 years old. I was wild as a weed, you know. She's a little older than me, but I got her phone number and we started dating after that.
Okay, so she was older than him.
She tells me one morning that she's got some news, that she's pregnant. So I was like, really, already? Right away I said, well, I guess we're gonna get married.
Sounds so enthusiastic.
She was the perfect Southern wife. A really nice girl, very polite, very generous, but I just never developed that special place in my heart for her.
Damn, alright.
Only 3 months.
3 months?
I promised her I would always do everything I could to take care of her and the child, to do what I can for them financially
3 months.
And mentally, but
That's mad.
I just couldn't stay.
Talk about rushing into things. Jesus, like, come on, man. This is what you think about before you go into something like that. Why would you... Oh, forget it.
We named her Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She may have been a little small, but by all means, she was a normal little baby.
I nicknamed her Possum because she looked like a little possum.
Okay.
Little bitty possum eyes, little bitty blonde hair that stuck up all the time. She was so tiny.
As soon as I saw her, I knew my life was going to be different forever, but had no idea what I was about to take on.
Hey, Gypsy, I love you.
As she got older, Dee Dee tells me that she's trying to get her this heart monitor that she'd have to wear while she slept because she stopped breathing in her sleep and she'd have seizures in the middle of the night. And she was telling me she was bringing her for tests and everything, and that she had sleep apnea. She acted so scared.
Well, wave goodbye to me. She didn't want nobody watching her. The only one she would let babysit Gypsy was my mom and my dad. I didn't even get to babysit her because she was sick.
Gypsy? Gypsy? Do you want to go play outside?
She wouldn't even leave her with me for an hour or anything, so she was with her all the time.
How old are you? You're 1? And where's your cranial? Very good. And where's your fin jellies? Yes. Very, very good.
Dee Dee was a great mom. I tell her all the time, man, I don't know how you do it, you know, day in and day out, taking care of Gypsy, being there for her.
Hi, we're poofing. Just a smidge.
It's Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me that Dee Dee put her in like some pageant thing. That does not surprise me at all. I don't know why Americans are so obsessed with this crap. Like, why do you put your kids through that shit?
Ooh, I'm getting close to your face. Ooh, give me that big smile now so I can see just your face.
When Gypsy was around 4, 5, 6, Dee Dee started telling me that she's got some problems with her eyes, seizures. She would say that the seizures would affect her eyes, so they would conduct a surgery where they would straighten her eye out, and then she would have another seizure and her eye would get crooked again.
Ooh, it looks like you're right there in my camera. Whoa, all I can see is just your glasses now.
Dee Dee was telling me that when she'd have these seizures, it would knock her back mentally a couple years.
What the hell?
Oh, her and E.T.
Slip and fall.
Can I get up?
As Gypsy's uncle,
Hello,
always want the
welcome to the
best.
chat.
You feel
We
sad,
are watching
you want them to
Gypsy's
have a
Revenge, a
normal,
true
healthy
crime
life.
doc.
But with Gypsy, that never really happened.
Turn him the other way. Let us see him.
Oh, he's so cute.
It just got worse and worse. Dee Dee started telling me they're running tests, they're trying to find out what's going on with her. She's got a lot of issues. She had some problems with her hearing. She needed to get some tubes put in her ears.
What the hell?
She had a bad problem with reflux. So 7 or 8, she had the feeding tube put in, and she's being fed with this machine through a feeding button.
Over here, baby.
Wow.
It got to a point where Dee Dee was taking care of Gypsy 24/7, so she didn't work at all anymore.
Bloody hell,
I
man,
promised
that's
her I would
horrible.
always pay her child support along with alimony and cover all medical expenses and health insurance for Gypsy. I paid Dee Dee until the day she died. when Gypsy was around 7, that was the first time I saw her in a wheelchair. They came over for a visit, her and Dee Dee. I would ask her what's wrong with her legs. Is it really that bad? What's the diagnosis? Dee Dee told me that she's got muscular dystrophy, that her legs muscles are gonna eventually quit working. That is terrifying to hear that about your child.
Yeah. Imagine, no, that's hard. I don't even think about that. That's horrible.
After the first time I saw her in a wheelchair, I never seen her walking.
You win.
Hey, Gamer Aki, thank you very much for the follow.
But through all the illnesses, she's always been a trooper. She's always been all smiles. You can look through all the pictures we have. There's not many sad pictures of Gypsy. She's always got a smile. They moved to Thibodeau, which is 45 minutes away. A couple years later, they moved to New Orleans, a couple hours away. As she got older,
okay, thank you for letting me know.
Further and further and further away. It got harder and harder to see her. I'd go to their house and visit a couple hours, hang out. But when Gypsy and I would start building a little closeness, a little bond and everything.
Give as much to our right now.
Before we
right
can
now,
get back together and
that's all we can do right now.
It seemed like Dee Dee was never letting us build that father-daughter relationship that you're supposed to have with your children. And Katrina hit in 2005, and they were relocated to Missouri. That's 11 hours away. By that point, she'd let me talk to Gypsy on the phone whenever I wanted and everything, but she said a visit was pretty much out of the question.
What the hell?
I never raised any really hard questions with Dee Dee because she still allowed me to talk to her when we called and keep some kind of relationship. I knew that if I raised any serious questions or issues, she could cut me off in a minute. So the relationship we had was mostly just phone calls, gifts, birthday cards, stuff like that. Just wanted to try to make her feel like, you know, I'm gonna be here for you forever, waiting. One day you're gonna call me and say, hey, Dad, it's Gypsy. You know, can you come see me or something? You know, I was just hoping for that day to come, and it never came.
Damn, that is horrible. Fuck no.
What happened with your mom that night?
Bloody hell.
I don't know what happened with my mom.
Okay,
Did Gypsy know that you were going to kill her mother?
Just listen to me, okay, sweetheart? You know what happened to your mom, okay? And I know that you know.
Honestly, she asked me
to. And there it is. Big reveal. That's something I knew as well. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
So Gypsy knew you were going to kill her mother because Gypsy asked you to.
Yes.
Why did she ask you to do that?
Did you kill your mom?
No, sir.
Did you help
No, sir.
Nicholas kill your mom?
No, sir.
Did you have knowledge that Nicholas was going to kill your mom before he did it?
No, sir.
Jeez. Wow. She denied it.
Okay, good morning. I want to specify at the beginning of this press conference that this is an ongoing investigation. The prosecutor
I didn't know
has
she
filed
denied
charges
it.
this morning for first-degree murder on 2 suspects.
That must have shocked the
Still
world when
investigating the extent of the
Gypsy was actually
relationship, but it has
charged.
been referred to as boyfriend, girlfriend.
I was blown away.
That guy's just
I
creepy
never
looking
in a
at him.
million years would have thought she would have ever been associated with something like that. I mean, any sort of crime, period. But especially the murder of her own mother.
I was like, what is going on here? As far as I knew, they had the
Okay, it's gonna
perfect
bloody hell, we
mother-daughter
got a long
relationship.
ways to go.
I mean, it was
Okay,
perfectly
I'm not gonna
happy
say. Okay,
family.
I was gonna say something, but
The police must have gotten somebody's story
it's gonna
backwards,
happen.
or somebody wasn't telling the whole truth, but it couldn't be Gypsy.
26-year-old Nicholas Godejohn was in a Waukesha County courtroom this morning. He waived his right to an extradition hearing. He's charged in the Missouri murder of Dee Dee Blanchard. Prosecutors say he stabbed the woman to death after the victim's daughter, Gypsy, allegedly asked him to.
Godejohn also has a criminal past. In 2013, he was arrested after investigators say he was watching pornography and fondling himself in a McDonald's restaurant for 9 hours.
This guy is weird.
Knife during the arrest.
I think everyone assumed that he was just this internet predator that had, you know, preyed on Gypsy, especially given her circumstances.
Oh,
A
man.
little bit about what's going on, okay? As you know,
Oh, God.
Nicholas was charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action. And what happened is he got a bus ticket and he came to Springfield, which is where I live and work. And he and Gypsy conspired to kill her mother. He stabbed her numerous times in the back while she slept in her bed.
Imagine finding out your son did that.
What
That's
do you
horrible.
think about this?
I don't know. I mean, I know that once he started going down there, we always keep a close watch on him because he has autism, you know, Asperger's. And that's
Has he
what
been
it is
diagnosed with autism
Yeah.
and
Yes,
Asperger's?
yes.
Okay.
Last doctor he talked to, they said his mind is probably always going to be 15, 16, right around there. He's never done anything like this. Nothing violent, you know what I mean? That's why I'm in shock.
Okay.
I don't...
I think he's madly in love with this.
I know.
I do remember thinking that it was Godejohn who was a mastermind behind it all, but it slowly came to light that through talking with the detectives and seeing the news broadcast that there was a lot more that we weren't aware of.
At any time during any of this whole situation that's happened, did Gypsy ever have to be in a wheelchair?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
That was only when she was living at home.
Okay.
Otherwise, she could walk.
There you go. That was the big bombshell.
So when she was with you this whole time, she hasn't had to have a wheelchair?
Nope.
We also know that she can walk without assistance or a wheelchair, and she can do that very well.
Okay, I'm happy that they're getting into this now as well.
Case number 15-755 assigned to Judge Boyd.
When I saw her walking into court, I was in shock. I was freaked out. I couldn't believe it.
I cocked my head and was like, that's not her. And I had to rewind multiple times just for it to truly sink in that she is actually walking into the courtroom.
Okay, they're getting into this part, which I think is very important to this whole case as well.
What is this Blanchard's current address?
This was a like just imagine
03 West Volunteer Wing, Springfield, Missouri, 65803.
imagine knowing this girl her whole life, pretty much like for years, and always seeing her, knowing about her condition, knowing she's in a wheelchair all the time, she needs a wheelchair, and then just seeing her walk into court like that after her finding out she murdered her mother. Like, do you understand how like putting such a mad thing?
Walking across the TV.
So mad, like think about this. Think about all that stuff they talk about. They got this for free, got this for free, this is free. They went Disneyland, they got free airplanes, all this blah 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 blah. And this whole lot, and then she just walked in like nothing.
To believe that this was happening. It wasn't my Gypsy.
I've never seen her
Your
out of her
Gypsy. She was never
wheelchair.
your Gypsy.
That's unheard of.
Let's just say she was really good at acting. I thought for sure that she really was crippled.
I started to doubt everything that I ever knew about them.
Time she's looking just as Mr. Godejohn is for 2 felony charges, most significantly one being first-degree murder, where the penalty is life imprisonment or death.
Court has ordered $1 million cash bail. Conditions are that the defendant have no contact with Nicholas Godejohn
A lot of questions started popping in.
So
my
they had the
head
death
about
penalty around this
what
place.
was real over the last 23 years of her life.
It seems like a huge rabbit trail that we're following to see if anything is true.
Until questions are answered, people will be left
Mad.
wondering who the real mother and daughter really were.
I thought I knew these people so well.
Even Blanchard's true age is a mystery.
If she could walk, she knew she could walk. How deep did the lie go?
Yeah. This is messed
Everybody that I had ever met in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking about their faces and how hurt they must have been to find out that these two people that they had cared so much for were not who they thought.
I didn't realize they're gonna get Gypsy in the documentary. What the? Okay, hello. Okay, we're gonna hear from her side now.
My relationship with my mother is
What the?
complicated.
Wow. Whoa. What the hell? Sorry, that just threw me off. I was not expecting to actually see Gypsy's side from this.
When I was younger, it was a lot better, just because she was like a best friend to me.
You wanna blow me a kiss? Very good. I love you.
We used to do things together all the time. Go to the movies, go to the park, the zoo. When I was probably about 5 or 6, my mother told me that I had epilepsy and that I was paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah.
She said I had cancer and she would shave off my hair and tell me it's gonna fall out anyway, so let's keep it nice and neat. She would also say that I couldn't eat and that I needed a feeding tube. And so I would have formula through the feeding tube, and I'd also receive my medication through the feeding tube.
Oh man, feeding tubes are nasty.
I'm not sure all the names of the medication that my mom was making me take, but there was a lot of ones that basically just put me under a sedative state.
Yeah. How could you do that to your own daughter?
The medications did affect my teeth. They started to deteriorate, and some of them had to be extracted.
So where are you going today?
I'm going to Children's Mercy Hospital to see my dentist for my teeth. I had many surgeries. And we'll be back soon. I've had my salivary glands removed because my mother said that I drooled. I had the feeding tube placement in my tummy. I had multiple eye surgeries on my right and left eye.
Oh my god.
Ear surgeries. A muscle biopsy to find out why my legs didn't work. And a surgery to make me not throw up anymore.
What the Jesus.
I believed I had all these illnesses, except that I knew I could walk, and I knew that I could eat.
Wow, she knew she could eat as well, and she still had the
until
fucking
I saw my
food feeding
attorney
tube.
for the first time, and he tells me that there's been no medical records that says I have cancer, and it shocked me. I don't have cancer? It confused me so much. So what other
How the
illnesses
how
don't
did
I
no
have?
how the did no one how the
tells
fuck
me,
did no
for the
medical
most part,
person
he thinks
ever
I'm perfectly
like
healthy,
realize this? Like how
and
this
that
is
a lot of this is made up.
how did no one
I was
ever clock
happy to
onto
know that
this?
I'm perfectly healthy, but at the same time it hurt because it's like my whole world had been tossed up, and I realized that my mother wasn't who I thought she was.
It's
That
the
is-
newest development.
What? How do you just let that happen? How do you do surgery without realizing she doesn't need it?
Gypsy's mother apparently kept Gypsy in a wheelchair, making up her illnesses and disabilities.
Gypsy's mom was
That is messed up.
abusing her physically, medically, giving her medication she didn't need.
Like how do you
having her go through
let this
procedures
happen?
that she didn't need,
How do you let this
to
happen?
the point where most of Gypsy's teeth are not even hers because of the medication that her mom was giving her that she had no condition for.
I'll show pleas of not guilty to each of counts.
I remember just being nauseous. Just wanting to turn away from it all and just throw up.
I've felt empty. I felt cold. I felt numb. I felt guilty. Like I've literally felt everything.
We are really trying to get a sense of the overall picture and to find out exactly how widespread Gypsy's, her mother's control was over her.
As soon as I was aware of the case, I started searching the internet and trying to acquire all the information I could. And it became one of the least difficult cases I've ever seen in establishing this as much as by proxy, which is when people make others under their control either sick or lie about their illnesses or exaggerate their illnesses.
Yeah, like how do you
all
get
to
away
some
with this
kind
shit?
of
It's actually
emotional
insane.
gratification for themselves.
Cancer survivor and a young lady, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, from Springfield, Missouri, to this day.
Dee Dee was a woman of fairly few accomplishments. There were relatively few things that distinguished her from the run-of-the-mill person, and that didn't suit her. So, having a sick child gave her a sense of identity, which was of the indefatigable, heroic caregiver who left others breathless with the excellence of her child rearing.
So messed
always
up.
said, you're the reason I was born to be your mama.
It all makes sense now. You know, why she kept Gypsy at such a distance from me all these years, why they moved so far away.
So that he can never clock on. And I also feel like Paul is to be like,
develop any kind of
she wants all this
relationship with
attention
anybody
about
that
raising Gypsy,
might
but
take her away
how would
from
it
her.
look at not only just raising a sick child, but
felt
raising
so
a sick child by itself? You know what I mean?
Like, why couldn't I see through this? Why? That's all I kept asking myself.
He can't blame himself, man. That was
At this point,
don't
hundreds
know.
of cases. But every once in a while, we see a case that veers into what we call malingering by proxy, where the perpetrator is after financial remuneration. And I think they were combined in this case.
Over
I
the
mean,
years,
yeah,
Dee Dee
how
and
much
Gypsy
did they get?
Blanchard received money and assistance from a long list of charities across the nation.
Wow.
Churches in their hometown of Thibodaux, Louisiana held fundraisers.
That's when I started to get
A GoFundMe as well.
At that point, I knew that I had been duped for many years, and just completely felt taken advantage of.
The amount of money that
Meth.
Dee Dee scammed through people, different organizations, surely it's in the thousands and thousands of dollars. Dee Dee scammed me personally for at least $150,000 between unnecessary medical expenses and child support that I
Wow.
continued to pay after she turned 18.
Wow.
Dee Dee
the
wasn't
fuck?
a stranger to the law.
Oh shit.
She shoplift. She was wanted for writing bad checks.
What?
She stole from many people. She would get so many credit cards underneath my dead mother's name and run up the bills like crazy. She was gonna do anything, anyway, anyhow to get her way.
All of this combined really altered my view of Dee Dee.
What
I mean, once
the-
I started realizing the extent of what she did and her actions, I started realizing how cruel she was and how
This is
she
messed up.
allowed her daughter to be essentially tortured.
Yeah, exactly.
Constantly
How the fuck can
for
you do
all
that
of
to your
her
own
life.
daughter? How? How the fuck? What kind of fucking? Oh, that's
Dee Dee
fucked.
had a couple years of college under her belt to be a nurse, and she'd worked in the hospital. She did her research on whatever disease she was gonna fathom that Gypsy had.
That's fucked
There's
up.
something wrong with the medical system if a child could get through being untreated or overtreated year after year after year. Makes me mad.
That's horrible, man. That's
Dee Dee got
horrible.
away with this for so long because she is like so many Munchausen by proxy perpetrators. They don't encounter that much resistance. Doctors are businessmen, and they like satisfied consumers. So I think the easiest thing for them to do is ignore the possibility of Munchausen by
That's
proxy.
so fucked
just
up,
go
though.
on and treat and treat and treat for whatever ailments the mother.
It's like, hey, look, I don't want to cause issues. I just want my money, so I'm just gonna do whatever surgery you ask me to do, as long as you pay me. Like, come on, man. That is, you fucking just ruined this girl's life. You could have saved her if you actually looked into it properly.
She would give me a stuffed animal or a doll to play with, and she would just tell me to keep quiet. If the doctor asked me how I was doing, say fine, but other than that, don't talk. And if she found that the doctor didn't agree with what she wanted, or if they didn't put me on a certain medication or did do a certain surgery, she would switch to a different doctor that she would find that would.
Fucking hell.
I've probably seen over 100 doctors in my life.
That is so fucked.
Around August 2007, Gypsy came with her mother for neurological assessment. From what I knew and I remember, she moved from Louisiana. She was a Katrina survivor, and I was told that this girl has a sad story, and the community kind of adopt her and they embrace her. I always like to ask questions to the patient, but at the time, the interaction was mainly with the mother. She says she has muscular dystrophy, that she has cerebral palsy, that she had a seizure disorder or epilepsy. And so I asked for Gypsy's medical records. But Gypsy's mother said she doesn't have no records because everything got lost in the storm. Because there were no records to be obtained or requested, I had to base, trust, and rely on what the mother told me at the time.
That is so
But the
messed
volume
up.
of her muscles were normal.
Horrible.
They were well sized, and her reflexes were normal, meaning that it kind of didn't make sense that she would not be able to walk.
Exactly.
So she was referred to have an MRI of the spine to see if there could be anything that I'm missing. And it was completely normal.
There you go. So why was this shit still happening then?
So I told Mom that I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be able to stand up and walk. Where she was mad. She said that's not true. She cannot walk, that's a fact. And said she was not coming back.
Jeez.
When her reaction was not as expected, I said that I have a suspicion that this is not real. This is fabricated or exaggerated. That's when I said that this is suspicious of Munchausen by proxy.
So did you?
My duty was to tell the pediatrician in my report.
Okay.
The pediatric neurologist who raised the notion of Munchausen by proxy had a powerful responsibility to Gypsy. By virtue of his even considering the diagnosis means he needed to pick up the phone and call Child Protective Services. And he failed to do so, as did other doctors.
Wow, he didn't even, I was gonna say, did you tell anyone? You didn't tell anyone.
I believe that the mother would have convinced them that what I'm saying is not true. I needed more to be able to report them to Child Services.
If you have a reasonable suspicion that you're making in good faith, you are protected and required to make the report.
Yeah, I think she should have done
what
it.
happened, if
You're
I
a
see
fucking
in the
doctor.
future another Munchausen
Who are they gonna
by proxy,
believe? This fucking
I
idiot
always
lady
should
or
be
you? About a
more
medical scan.
I never heard.
And yes, I
anything
get
about
she's
the
been bullshitting to
Munchausen
loads of
by
people
proxy.
and convincing so many people.
Didn't even know
But
what it
come on,
was.
man. You could literally just show him, hey,
Found
look at the
out
scan.
What it really was all about. That's when we realized Dee Dee's doing to Gypsy what Mom did to her.
What? I didn't know that. What? What? Okay, hold on. Now, what? Okay, now this
Dee Dee was
can
born,
go
my
deep.
mom said that she came along with all these sicknesses, heart murmur and stuff like that.
My mom would always make us go play outside, and it was like, oh, well, your sister's not feeling good. Your sister's got an upset stomach. She's got a headache. Y'all go play outside. Be quiet. Leave her alone, you know.
As she got older, Dee Dee couldn't get excited. Dee Dee couldn't jump around. She couldn't play outside. She couldn't overheat herself.
What the hell?
She was not allowed to assist with chores. If Dee Dee didn't want to do it, well, then she didn't have to because the heart murmur. It was used like a crutch for a long time. But Dee Dee
Wow,
was
I didn't even know it
basically
happened to her.
not as sick as it was to believe.
My mom smothered her. She didn't want her to grow up. She wanted to keep her young so that she would always have her to hold on to.
Jeez.
Our bedroom was where all of us kids slept, but Dee Dee always slept with my mama.
So it was just a
Like
vicious
she
cycle.
was her shadow.
Bloody hell.
Always by my mama's side, always.
Yes, I get a boy.
That's your boy.
It's mine too?
Your boy and your ring.
Hi, Mama.
Oh,
How you doing, Mama? What's that, Mama?
Some green.
Some green. Green machine. Say what?
See her ring.
We didn't get to go to college, but Dee Dee went to college. We
Wow.
didn't get a car. When we were growing up, Dee Dee got the car.
That's what Daddy's fixing for her to go in tonight. Dino says she needs a new one.
We knew if you wanted something, you had to go out and earn it. But Dee Dee just wanted it and got it.
Dee Dee was into beauty pageants, and my mama went out and bought her the prettiest dress, the prettiest
Oh
shoes.
my god. Look at that. That's that fucking pretty dress. Sorry, but that
She was just
looks like
all
you're
about the
fucking
attention.
doing an Ursula cosplay or something.
When my mom passed away, Dee Dee took it hard. You know, the person who babied her all her life
Yeah.
wasn't there anymore.
Say hi.
But she still needed the attention. It didn't matter how, as long as it was coming.
That is fucked, man. So I had no idea that her mom was like that.
I feel sorry for Gypsy. I feel sorry for the way she was raised. But I'm extremely upset that Gypsy didn't trust any of us, that she couldn't say something to us, because all of this could have ended differently.
I just don't know. Like what I
How
was
it's
doing
not
to
an
make her
easy
feel
thing
like
to
I
go
could
tell
do
someone, is it?
something. I don't
She's just
know.
being controlled by her mum.
What?
She was
made
only
her
little, young
resist,
as well
like,
at
just
that point.
Opening up and just telling me what was going on.
If I'd had any indication that she needed any kind of help, I would have been over there in a heartbeat.
Obviously, she definitely should have.
Never
If she
been
could
able
have,
to
she should
make
have reached
Gypsy
out to
feel
someone,
like
but
she can call
I'm
me
sure it wasn't that
when
easy,
there
you
was
know what I
something
mean?
wrong growing up like that, so I feel pretty bad about that.
I couldn't just jump out of the wheelchair because, to be honest, I was afraid of what my mother might do. And I didn't think that I had anyone to trust. I couldn't trust Aaliyah because my mother was starting to put things in my head that Aaliyah wasn't my true friend and that
Exactly.
she was a bad influence on
That's
me,
her mom
so
that.
I couldn't be friends with her anymore.
That's why she had no
And
connection to people.
I didn't reach out to my dad because I grew up with my mom saying all these horrible things about him. That
Wow.
he abandoned us, that he didn't love me or her, that he didn't want anything to do with me. So I thought he wouldn't care, so why reach out to him?
Wow.
If I had known then what I know now, I would have reached out to anybody for help. But I was too afraid to.
They said it's snowing, so I'm staying under my heating blanket.
So she stole
And I'm not
Gypsy
getting
from her
out.
dad and then put into Gypsy's head that your dad's this, your
I
dad
wanted
that.
more independence,
Fuck.
and that just wasn't okay with her.
She wants to get out. Ain't gonna happen. Let
All
the
right.
dog take care of her.
I asked my mother, can we please get rid of the feeding tube? I don't need it. And she said no. Can I please maybe get some physical therapy to help me walk a little bit better? And she just said no.
Man. But imagine walking for the first, like, would you see the way she walked into the courtroom? She walked like she's always been walking. How early did she start walking?
Together when I came across a Medicaid card, and it said that I was born in 1991 and not 1995 like she had claimed and told me. So I was actually 19 at the time, not 15.
Ah, that's why I was confused. Okay, bloody hell.
After everything went down, I found out that Dee Dee changed her birth certificate several times.
What?
She was born in 91. She changed a 1 to a 5. So she took 4 years off of her life right there. Dee Dee had so much to lose by letting her understand she was 18. You know, she knows that Gypsy could have just got up and walked out.
Yeah. I didn't think
She had
about
met
that.
this
Yeah.
guy at this sci-fi convention, and she told him what was going on, that she was trying to get away from her mom, that she needed some help.
What the hell?
I trusted him a little bit, enough to run away from home. He didn't have a place of his own, so he was staying with a friend. Those friends knew my mom.
Oh no.
And my mom came to get me. She told him that I was 15, so he freaked out because he was 36 at the time.
36? What the hell are you doing with a 19-year-old anyway?
Smashed my computer.
Oh god.
She chained me to a bed, tinted the windows so nobody could see what was going on inside the house,
What?
and put bells on the doors so if I tried to sneak out again, she could hear.
What?
I had asked her, if I can go to the bathroom. She'd unchain me, take me to the bathroom, but then chain me back up to the bed.
What the hell? This is messed up.
She would
She was living like
me.
a prisoner. What?
She would hit me with a coat hanger. And she would call me bitch, slut, whore, devil spawn. For about 2 weeks that happened. I went from looking at her like a loving parent to seeing her as somebody that I was quite afraid of.
What the fuck, man? This is
I felt
horrible.
like there was no hope. I just kept thinking, dear God, get me out of here somehow.
Wow. What the fuck? She was basically... She'd like fucking imprisoned her, basically.
I first met
Literally
Nick on a Christian dating website in 2012. I believe it was October. I messaged him. He messaged me back. I was able to carry it on by sneaking onto my mother's computer while my mother was asleep. And we started to talk about our lives.
Isn't that dangerous?
And we liked each other from the very beginning. I did tell him that I was in a wheelchair from the get-go. And he seemed accepting. He was like, it doesn't matter to me. I love you all the same. It was just different to find somebody that accepted me. Even though I knew I could
I think,
walk,
yeah,
I
it was
still
just,
thought
she
that
probably
it
was in a
nice
state where she would have
accept
just,
me as I
anyone being nice to her, she would have just been very close to
progressed,
quickly because of
kind
how
of
she was being
quickly.
treated. Exactly.
We met.
You know what I mean? She had that, look, she was getting abused all the time. As soon as someone started being nice to her, of course she's going to get attached to them. There you go.
About a year into our relationship, I told him that I could walk. He was not surprised at all.
What?
He claimed to have psychic abilities.
Oh my god.
Then he started to tell me that he had multiple personality disorder.
Oh,
And
great.
that he had
Cool.
several. And one of them was named Victor, and Victor was the violent one.
The thing is that I have more than one person inside. There's
Oh,
actually
shit.
multiple personalities of myself.
Have you been diagnosed with that?
I probably should be diagnosed with it because it happens. The thing is, I used to take medication because I
Okay.
used to hear voices in my head.
Okay.
And it went away, then it somehow went as part of myself.
Okay.
So,
Does Gypsy know that?
yes, she does know that.
Okay.
I started
Yeah.
to be a little bit more scared, but at the same time, I
All
was
right.
desperate for affection. So I made up personalities to match his.
What?
One of them I created was Candy, and she had like rainbow-colored hair. Another one was Ruby. That was to match
What the
Victor.
fuck are these pictures?
I would have done pretty much anything just to make him stay and make him happy.
This
But
is
then
crazy.
soon my mother started to lock her computer, so I stole a cell phone. And can't make any calls or anything, but I hooked it up to the Wi-Fi of the house.
Hmm.
And I was able to talk to Nick that way, through Facebook and other social media. We thought that it was time to meet up face to face. And so I came up with the idea, let's meet up at a movie theater.
Well,
Let's
how
pretend
the
like we
hell
don't know
are you
each
gonna
other,
get there?
and we'll bump into each other, make friends. And I thought, if he dressed nice, if he said all the right things, if he was just a kind person, that my mom would think, hey, well, why not this be the one? And then that way we don't have to lie and hide
Okay.
our relationship anymore. I had picked a movie, and it was Cinderella, the new version. I thought
Damn.
that it was
See, that just feels like that wasn't even that
So we
long
got
ago.
our bus
The
ticket,
live action Cinderella.
and he came to Springfield.
That all
finally
happened
meet
around
me.
then.
He just struck up a conversation with my mom in the movie theater, and she thought that he was creepy and
Whoa.
gave off a sort of dangerous vibe. So she moved down a couple of seats and told me to follow her. I didn't.
Oh god.
We planned it all out from the beginning that it was time for me to lose my virginity.
Oh god.
So I told my mom that I was going to the bathroom, and he followed me. I always imagine rose petals and candles and, romance, but it was none of those things. My mother started to worry.
Oh,
So
no.
she came out of the auditorium, and just in the nick of time, we were by concessions. My mother
Oh.
told me, why are you still hanging out with that guy? And that led to an argument, and I'm like, he's not doing anything wrong. He just wants to be my friend. Why can't I have friends?
Hmm.
She took me to the bathroom, and she slapped me.
Oh. What the fuck?
It made me feel devastated that it all went wrong, because I knew that mom's never gonna let me be happy, have friends, fall in love, get married, have kids, have a normal life. And I never wanted any more than that. I got scared and desperate, and the only thing that I could think about was, I want this ideal life of freedom and happiness. How can I get it?
This is fucked, man. Sorry, I think I've been
Me and
quiet
Nick
for a long
were
time, haven't I? I'm just so. This is just
And he said that he would do
so
anything to
messed up.
protect me. And I asked him anything.
So messed up.
And he said, yeah. From anybody? He said, yeah. Even my mom? He said, yes. And that's when this kind of plan started to develop of a murder plot.
Fuck, that even had to go that far. Bloody hell, man. How bad was it? This is messed up. This is horrible.
You have a collect call from
This is Godejohn.
an inmate at Greene County Jail. To accept charges, press 1.
So, she first asked me,
Oh, did they get him?
how badly
Wow.
do you want to be with me? I told her I'd do anything to be with her, you know that. And she said, as long as my mom's alive, I can't be with you. She made
Oh
that
my
very
God.
clear.
I felt, how else am I gonna escape? It seemed like taking her out of the equation completely was the only option.
My God, man.
I
How,
was like,
wow.
are you serious? There's not anything to joke around about. And she said that this is the only way we can be together. So I'm pretty much stuck on this situation, and I just end up going along with it.
He was that desperate to be with her that he chose to kill her.
We started looking at some
Tried
different
goes to kill her mom, I
poisons.
mean.
We went looking at arson.
What?
A candle fell in the bedroom and caught fire. And we went looking at a gun, but then I finally told him I can't kill her. I don't have it in me to kill her. And he said, well, you know, if you can't kill her, who's gonna do it? And I said, could you?
Wow.
I was really shocked. She said, if you truly love me, you'd be willing to do this for me because you know this is the only way we can be together. And at some point, I ended up giving in because I didn't know what else to do.
Man.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
Oh my
There's truly
God.
nothing I wouldn't do.
What?
He said that he was very good with knives. And I said
Man,
I
this is
wanted it
messed
to be
up.
painless. I didn't want her to suffer because she's still my mother.
And yet you've stabbed her multiple times.
We thought that we would never get caught. I felt like this is a fairy tale and I was gonna be the princess that gets
I don't
rescued.
get that thing. Like, why do little people who like commit murders and shit like that like think, oh, we'll get away with it, no one will ever find them.
And have this wonderful new life. What started as a fairy tale ended as a horror movie.
Your mom's dead.
And she got so scared she tried to deny it
What I
all.
want to ask you is, your mom's passed away, okay? She's deceased, all right? Just, yeah, hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay?
Bloody hell.
I was excited just to be with her for the rest of my life.
Oh my God, man. This is wow. He was so mentally unstable, like mentally messed up that he thought, he was so in love with her that he was thought, yeah, I'll do it. I'll just kill her mom. Even though the way he's saying it now, it seems like he didn't want to, but obviously we can't really tell because it's from his side, so it's obviously a biased view, if that makes sense. But we'll never truly know. You know what I mean? Oh, this is horrible.
The plan was that
Now I'm excited. Exactly. You see what I mean? Who says that about murdering someone?
and all I had to do was just go in the bathroom and keep quiet.
Hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay? What happened with your mom that night?
I basically had two thoughts pop in my head. One was take her and run. The other was this bitch is dead. she's not gonna get between me and her.
Why would you put it on Facebook? That's what I'm confused about. What the fuck? She had the knife and shit ready. Oh my god, what the hell?
Listen to me, okay, sweetheart? You know what happened to your mom, okay? And I know that you know.
I loved her so deeply that from the first step I walked into the house, I knew there was no going back.
Well, obviously, yeah. At that point, we've seen the messages. He was ready. He was excited about it.
Ears, so I wouldn't hear anything. But I still heard my mother scream. And at that point, I thought, hey, I don't want this to happen. I want this to stop now.
Yeah, but too late.
But I was too afraid to go and help.
Yeah, it's a bit late when he's stabbing her.
You think that hearing a murder is like what you hear on a horror film or something, but it's really not. You can stand watching a horror film, but hearing someone actually being murdered is terrifying. It creates this almost nauseous feeling in your stomach. You can't think. All you can think about is how afraid you are.
I know you do. Now's the time to be truthful, sweetheart. No more lies.
This is
In
mess.
a couple of minutes, she stopped screaming. Nick came in and he was holding the knife in blood. He ordered me to patch up his finger because he's cut his finger on the knife. And then he ordered me to clean up little droplets of blood that was left in the hall and the bathroom.
Did you kill your mom?
No, no, sir.
Did you help
No, sir.
Nicholas kill your mom?
No, sir.
My mother had a money pouch. Little did I know that it was my dad sending child support. So we took it, and that's how we paid for everything. We packed a couple of things in my suitcase. We called a cab, and we went back to the hotel that he was staying at. I was happy. Because
You know what I just remembered? I heard that she's actually going to be released soon, you know?
Hi, honey. I'm feeling it. But the looming awareness of what had just happened clouded my mind. So I used pills to drown out all of my remorse and cares and fears.
This is messed up,
I
man.
left a motel with him, and we went to the bus stop. He wanted me to first carry the knife with me onto the Greyhound bus.
What?
But I assumed that they had metal detectors. So I suggested, let's mail the knife.
To
I thought it was the safest option. And then we took a Greyhound bus back to Wisconsin.
Where the hell did you mail it? Where did it go?
I wanted my mother found because I felt remorse. And I couldn't stand the thought
So
of her
she
just being
posted on Facebook so they would
I
find
needed
her.
something alarming that would alarm her friends.
Oh my god. Wow.
And then one morning we wake up to the sound of police. We're surrounded. I think the last thing that I said to him is that we're gonna stick together.
So the reason they even got caught is because she felt so guilty that she made up some bullshit to post on Facebook so that they could go find her mum. Wow, so she never did that. Imagine how long it would have taken for people to find out. Wow. I mean, wow. Imagine how long it would have taken to find out. Like, they could have been gone by then.
This is in the case of State of Missouri versus Gypsy Rose Blanchard, case number 1531CR03591, appearing for the state is Mr. Patterson.
State's Exhibit 53. The LG phone was taken from the black bag in the bedroom.
That is correct.
It had Gypsy's identification.
Correct.
I don't blame her for what she done. Everyone failed Gypsy. From myself, her mother, the doctors, the police, social services.
Man, that's...
We all looked out for ourselves. We wasn't totally looking out for her.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I held on to Gypsy's innocence until the day she pleaded. My brain would not wrap around that she had this capacity, had this rage. And that broke my heart. Because I had to admit that nothing that I knew was right.
How do you plead to the Class A felony of murder in the second degree?
Guilty.
2015, Gypsy Blanchard agreed to a plea deal for her role in the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard.
Prosecuting attorney Dan Patterson says while Gypsy is guilty of murder, the amended charge fairly and justly holds her accountable to the law while also taking into account the extreme mitigating circumstances of nearly 2 decades of systematic abuse by her mother.
Court accepts the defendant's plea of guilty to the Class A felony of murder in the second degree and finds the defendant guilty thereof.
Other face of first-degree murder charge and possible life imprisonment. Gypsy agreed to plead guilty to murder in the second degree. She was sentenced to 10 years. She got 10 years.
When I think about what Dee Dee did to Gypsy, it makes me sad. But they didn't really have to kill my sister. They could have just ran away together. But they chose to go a different route, and my sister got killed. Well, not killed, murdered.
Jeez, man. And is currently in custody awaiting trial for first-degree murder. Found guilty, faces a possible sentence of life in prison. Wow. I have no idea. I want to look up.
No matter what happens, I'm always gonna love her unconditionally. No matter what happens. Doesn't matter if you break off. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm always gonna love her unconditionally. To this day, I still do love her. I do love her. And I know for a fact that she still does love me.
Now that I've grown and matured, I know the difference between love and infatuation. He wants to feel whatever he wants to feel, but I don't love him no more.
Wow. After all of that, and okay. Not spoken to each other since their arrests.
After Gypsy had been transferred to Chillicothe, she ended up calling me one evening. She immediately started apologizing for everything, and then she started carrying on about how she's learning to do her hair and like she's learning to do her makeup and she's making friends. I mean, honestly, it sounds like she's just away for college. And I feel like, as sad as it may sound, her story really does finally have a happy ending. At least for her.
Fucking hell. What kind of... It's eligible for parole in 2024. 32. So next year. Whoa, next year.
I have a lot of complicated emotions for my mother. There are some times that I'm angry at her. There are times that I think that she's so manipulative, and how could you do that to your child?
Oh, man.
And then I think about other times where I'm like, she just was so desperate for somebody to love her. But regardless of all of that, I still love her and I still miss her.
Fucking hell.
She was my mother.
Wow. Jeez, man, that is messed up. I've searched up. So the boyfriend Nicholas apparently in this post from March this year is serving life. So he did get life in prison. And Gypsy, who is serving prison time for her role in the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, was granted parole and is set to be released in December this year. This was made like a few weeks ago. So Gypsy's going to be released next month in like 2 months. Gypsy's going to be out. That is mad. What a crazy story. What a sad story and crazy, and it's just, again, thank you to my friend Mario. Mario, if you're seeing this, thank you for that suggestion. That is a mad one. That was a mad one.